Hello, friends. I'm Marilynne, the retired teacher, and I am the financial growth advocate for those age 65 and above. And I'm also I like to empower retired teachers. And that's what I am. I like to empower retired teachers and others age 65 and above in order to thrive in this digital age that we live in. So as I've been working and thinking about all of these things, and so I remember when I retired several years ago, I was just so excited. I said, "Oh my goodness, this is my free moment, my time, and I'll be able to do so many wonderful things, like lay back and relax and not worry about anything." But as time went on, I knew that as I thought about my retirement, I said, well, I'm going to have time to do this and I'm going to have time to do that. However, it didn't work out that way. I said, oh, well, I like multi level marketing very much. And so I always would dabble in it a little bit, like after work and all of that. And then I thought, I'm not sure I like doing this. It's taking too much of my time. And I didn't really enjoy it taking the time that it was taking. So what I did was I said, okay, well, that's not something that I really like doing. And so I turned around and said, well, I really liked teaching. Let me just go back and just sub around and all of that. So I did just sub around, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Then another school called me, the school I retired from, because I was like floating around in the district. So one school, they knew about me and all. So then they said, oh, well, why don't you come here and do this ISP position? Because we really need someone and we know how you are. So we would love to have you do ISP. And so, in doing ISP, that was pulling in children from different classrooms, grades kindergarten through fifth grade. And I would work with them and help them. That's what that position was. And so I didn't mind doing that. I needed the extra income. But then what happened was I got a letter from my retirement people saying, well, watch out for how much you do and how much work you do. Because if you do too much work in your retirement, guess what? We're going to have to dock your retirement. So I was thinking, my goodness, I can't even like freely do that. And as a matter of fact, I was thinking about not doing that anyway because it was taking away my free time. And that's what I was looking forward to, the free time. And so then I said, okay, what am I going to do? And I have a son. I had a son who turned into an entrepreneur because he didn't, back after college, he didn't like working for people taking his time. He wanted to be his own boss. And also, I worked with him somewhat and all, but then we lost him. He got sick and all of that, and we had to put him in the hospital. In 5 days, our son was gone due to pancreatitis. That's what he had. And so 5 days he was gone, and we loved this son. He worked hard, and he was very outgoing and loved helping people, all of these things. So when that happened, it was like, oh my, what are we going to do? We want to remember him. And that was a while ago. Like it took us 2.5 years to find something to remember him by. We didn't just want a plaque or his picture or whatever. We wanted something because so many people, he knew so many people and he liked helping and all that. And then there was a man who sent me an email about an opportunity on digital marketing. And it was so fabulous what he offered. I said, oh my goodness, this is something that we could probably use to remember our son by. And so we did. We decided that I could do this and it would be helpful to leave as a legacy in his name for the family, especially for the grandchildren that were to be coming whenever. But that's what we decided to do. So here I was back in something that I thought it was wonderful. There were so many testimonies from so many people about what was happening to them with this digital marketing program. So I said, oh my goodness, I think this is something to rethink. And as I did it and worked with it, it didn't have anything at all to do with multi-level marketing or anything that we were thinking about. So I said, okay, Well, that's a really, really, really good thing to do. So here I was, but I'm thinking I need to stop right now and just ask you to think about this question that I'd like to give you. I'm going to have a few as we go on. Um, what what would you do if you when you retire? Like when you retire, are you already set, or were you laid back like I was, and just didn't want to do anything else, and said, "Oh, I'm going to relax the rest of my time," and found things because I was like backsliding. So what would you do? What did and please put something in the comments. Um, when you think about what were you going to do with the years ahead for time freedom and financial freedom and taking care of bills and all of those things that happen to us. Okay, so that's my first question. And if you'd like to put something, and I have a live chat here, and so it would be wonderful if you would put something. And maybe I'll type the question in for you so that you will remember what the question was that I just asked you. So, what would you do if you had a second chance at retirement? And I'll try to click chat and do that. What would you do if you had a second chance to choose retirement activities? Okay, there's my question, and feel free to answer. Activities, there it is. Boy, I didn't get to tell you, but let's see if it changed for me. This is my second time doing the live, and I'm so excited about doing the live. I know it's hit and miss and all of that, so um, you feel free if you're even if you're here, if someone is here, it would be nice to hear from you and all of that. And I'll give you another question in a little bit, but that was my first one, and I just wanted to tell you how I got here with doing the digital growth community. And I would like to tell you a little bit about that so that you will know and all of that. So as I know that I did one and you missed it, but that's okay. Um, if we just have to just get a second hat. So this is called a second act. So let's say that you were doing what I was doing, like especially if you're a retired teacher and then you go back. I've run into people like that. So I wasn't the only one. As a matter of fact, I think these retired teachers are the ones who made me think, oh, yeah, I could go back and do that. I can go sub. I can do this, that. But it just put me right back in the spot where I didn't want to be when I reflected on it and all. So we're going to go a little deeper today. And I think we can think about this. Let me tell you what has happened with me since I've been learning again. I've been learning how to become digital. I was really worried about that because of my age and all of that. And can I do things online? We started doing digital things just before I retired. They were bringing in big boards and online things that we had to do, and we had to answer questions or answer things like attendance in the mornings. We had to put it online. Whatever the principal wanted to talk to, instead of her calling a meeting, she put it online, and we needed to open up our emails and read them. And I tell you, it was a challenge for me to remember to look at the email. I walked in the classroom and I was just ready to just jump into my regular routines. But once the video came, the videos and all of these things came, and little tablets for the children to use. Once they entered the classroom, it was like, wow, all of this. And then I had to keep records to send to the parents through this kind of thing. And it was all starting. And the only thing I could say was, you know what? I'm so glad I'm retiring. I don't have to worry about technology. And then all of a sudden, here I am working with technology, but not to worry with this program, you are supported. It's a complete program. It's done for you. There's even guidance for how to get started. And if you would even like, if you say, well, gee, she's getting started on things, I'm getting started. We have a wonderful mentor who used her frame of reference of what her life had been to put together this, and it's become just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for people worldwide. It's really amazing how we're across the world, and people are still coming in. And at first, it was only in English, but now it's beginning to change into other languages and all of that, especially the Spanish. So it's becoming, they're just getting ready to start this. So it's going to really blow up even more than it has. And like I said, we're worldwide. Okay, so with this, yes, it's part time work again, but it's only 2 hours a day. So they guide you through a 2 hour work day, just 2 hours. We have 22 more that we can still lay back and relax and do things with that we want to, but it's just 2 hours a day. And in the 2 hours time, they teach you, you have modules that you follow, and they teach you how to set up your what do you call it, your website. They teach you how to set up your website, and they guide you through that. And there are modules that you can look at as you set up your website. So it's really, really nice. They have a wonderful community. There are so many people around the world that are part of the community. And you talk with them, and you tell them about your wins. Like I had challenged myself to be a part of someone who's doing live. And here I am doing live. That was a win for me, because I tell you, I was very nervous. I didn't know what I was going to do or if I was going to show up. And half the battle is showing up. So here I am showing up, talking away. And so now I have the time freedom. I have that 2 hour window. And that 2 hour window is where you learn how to write ads. You learn how to speak on camera or whatever, make videos and all of that. You learn how to talk to people and respond to people who need your help with them. However, when we ask you to do things, we also have a little gift for you to do. And a lot of times people don't always follow that piece. And so I'm talking here online, and I'd love to get feedback. And sometimes, and I was like that. I can't blame anyone, because I was like that when I would see things and read it and enjoy it. And I might put a happy face, or, use one of those emojis, or I might type something. Well, that's basically what I did, but it's better if you converse. It doesn't take any harm in conversing. We use our phones for so many other things. We use our phones for scrolling and looking at what people are doing and looking at little cute things and little animals and all that. Well, think about that time, because sometimes we scroll for 20, 40 minutes or whatever and say, wow, where has the time gone? Well, with this, the time will go quickly, because you can look at things right here on your phone and do things. You can work with your phone to do this business, or you can work with your computer to do it. It's all the same. You just connect and just go for it. But the 2 hour workday is so wonderful. Once you have your system set up, the system goes on automation. It's just automatic. So instead of you going back every day, you will have to go and do your 2 hours time. But the system, once it's set up, it's just all the time, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And it's an attraction. So you don't have to go and talk to family or friends. You take your 2 hours and you put your little video, you can hold it up and talk in your video and things like that, and send it. Send it out. And you can use any method. You can use Facebook or the social media, Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, things like that. And you talk on them using your phone or your computer here. And you talk with them and you share and tell your little stories. You have to tell little stories. The stories are important. And there are so many things that go with it. But you just pay one time, you pay, and it's not a lot of stuff like buy this, buy that, buy the other. No, you pay it one time and you're in business and it's your business and you can do it at home. Or if you decide to go on a trip somewhere or something like that, you can do your business there. It's just wonderful. And so let's see, I have my little papers here and my little pages are telling me, giving me some things. But this way is this digital path. You get online, and this is a growing business around the world. So you get online, and it's a simple system that's just 2 hours a day. And you don't have to sell to, like I said, friends. No tech overwhelm if you can't figure it out. You can do a little bit here and there. And then they have people in the community. They have a whole day that they have for people who need tech support and all that. The tech support is there, everything is there. And so you don't have to be overwhelmed by the tech or anything. There's step by step guidance and support. And so now you see me here. I help other retirees write that second act. Here's my little retirement book, second act. So I have something that I keep my notes in, and it tells me lots of things. It even tells me that these are notes that I've taken from different things that I've listened to, how to select people that will think like me. And I'm like, I look at myself, I'm a retired teacher, so I'd love to talk with retired teachers. And others. Of course, I never, anybody 65 and above. I'm in my 70s. So anybody 65 and above or even older than I am and all of that. And I'd love to be of help to you. So if you had felt anything while I was sharing or an inkling about what I'm sharing here, I would love for you to think about joining me. But before I ask you to join me, I have a few more questions that I'd like for you to look into putting in the comments. Have you ever asked yourself what's next after retirement? Okay. And I think that was my first one. And tell me this, because I didn't tell you this part. With this business, you get 100% profit. 100% profit. You don't have to share your earnings with anyone or whatever. One customer can be worth $900. $900. Just imagine earning $900 every day. And it'll come right to you because as you join it, you set up your income streams connected to your bank or whatever, and it just comes right back to you. 100% profit. $900 from one person can happen with this. And so over time, I will be sharing more and more about the earnings and what's happening and the kinds of wins. So if you had 100% control of your time, because this gives you time freedom, if you had 100% control of your time and some extra monthly income, what would you do first? Ooh, what would you do first? Can you put something in the comments to let me know what your answer would be? Okay. So with this, let's see. I think I could. Okay, if you had 100%, what would you do if you had a second chance? That was for a second chance of retirement. So I call this the second act. So what would a meaningful second act look like for you? Would it be doing something digital? If that's the case, just put yes in the comments. That's all you have to do. Put yes in the comments and I will see it and I will send you a free PDF that explains everything with more information. I know I'm talking and talking. And also, if you don't catch everything, the free PDF, just put yes in the comments and I will make sure you receive your free PDF. Okay. Okay. One more. Let's see. Would you rather work 40 hours for someone else or 2 hours for yourself and make that $900? 100%. It's all yours. Would you rather work 40 hours or just 2 hours a day for yourself and not for someone else? Okay. I think those are the only few questions that I would like to ask you today. And if have you ever felt unsure? This is my last question, sorry. Have you ever felt unsure about how to earn money online? Yes or no? Thank you so much for visiting me today. Thank you for coming to my live. And I hope next week, I don't know exactly what time I'll be on, but I do plan on doing it 2 more times next week. This was my challenge to get my lives in this week. So I've done 2, and next week I'll do 2 more. But I'm not going to say what time because that part I'm unsure of. But thank you again for listening, and I hope to see you soon. You can find me on YouTube right now, and I think I'm starting Instagram and all of that. So, God bless.